Light bearers, it is I, Dark Crusader Poir, and I am here to bestow upon thee great knowledge to aid your journey. Welcome to my GIGA tips video for Laws of the Fallen. I've gathered some of the best tips across the world that you're gonna wish you knew, so you're definitely gonna want to watch the whole video. Before we begin, smash like for the algorithm to push the video up so it can help more players. You smash or pass? Smash? Okay, let's start. First tip, blocking, wither damage. You do not take true damage when you block, you only take wither damage. Wither damage is essentially recoverable health, aka it cannot kill you. Enemies are so slow in this game when they're alone that you can easily gain your HP back after blocking or parrying, and as long as your shield stability is not broken, in other words, your stamina doesn't hit 0 after you block, you can withstand damage completely using this heavier shield, for example, or in the case of parry, as long as you parry every attack, you can avoid death even at 1 HP. So take advantage of this system, and make sure to let go of block in between enemy attacks so your stamina recovers. Your stamina will not regen if you hold block. Of course, dodging is super strong in this game, and enemies attack at the speed of molasses, so a lot of the times you don't even need to block or parry. But what you may not know is that the backstep also has iframes and is a much shorter distance than the normal dodge. From a utility perspective, it's not that crazy, but you know, it does look super cool when you do it. Style points. But if you are into parrying, consider carrying a light shield. These usually have a better parry window than other forms of parry. Daggers will have the best parry in the weapons department. Damage numbers indicate if the damage type done to the enemy is advantageous or not. Example, the cage head guy here is resistant to holy damage. So take this +0 dagger with fizz and holy split, my damage numbers are white, indicating neutral damage. However, if I equip my +5 pieta sword, my damage numbers are faded, meaning my damage is being resisted, despite me dealing way more damage than the dagger. And when you're dealing advantageous damage, in this case fire damage with the sword at +0, I get red numbers. So if you think your damage against the boss is low, make sure to check the damage number color to see if they're resisting your damage type. There is a kick in the game. You can use it via L1 plus R1 to either kick enemies off the ledge or to deal posture damage. If the enemy's posture circle thing is at 0, then the only way to get a critical trigger is by parrying, using a charge attack, or kicking them. So between a charge attack, which is slow with no hyper armor, and kicking is much faster to get your grievous strike off. Jump or falling attacks are very powerful in this game, so make use of ladders or high edges to group up enemies underneath and then do a falling attack to squash them all in one fell swoop. Ladders OP. Next tip, even if your weapon has a natural element on it, or any status, you can still buff the weapon with a second element spell or assault. So Pieta sword can be further enhanced with the radiant weapon spell, boosting its damage. Or if you have a fire weapon and poison weapon equipped, you can now have wither damage on top of those statuses with wither salt, and deal all 3 statuses at once. So always use buffs, you're missing out on a lot of damage by not doing so. While the difference between one-handed and two-handed is pretty obvious, a not so known thing is that two-handed negates bouncing off walls, while one-handed you will swing and bounce off objects. So if you're in a tight corridor, it's best to go two-handed just to avoid the annoying bounce. Unfortunately, dual wield does not enjoy that feature, so it'll be prone to bouncing as well. Now for some lamp or soulflay tips. You can use the lamp to vacuum vigor from a distance. Useful to reach across areas so you don't have to jump over to get them, or just to safely pick them up to not aggro more enemies from running there manually. Soulflay can also be used to fling enemies off an edge. To do so, you simply soulflay and hold the direction you want them to go, either left, right, or towards you, and their soul will move in that direction. It's a great way to deal with powerful enemies. You can also soulflay bosses, although not every boss, but a niche tip in particular though, is those big-faced umbral enemies when they expose their inner form. If you soulflay them, you will get a guaranteed critical automatically on them. So take that, Bibu. Moth mimics are a pain in the butt, as if they grab you, they practically one-shot you. So to beat these, you need to soulflay them. Of course, they pretend to be as items, but you can tell an item is a mimic by the item wick flickering and moving around. So if you see that, soulflay it instead, and you kill them and you get some nice extra loot. The
This next one's pretty niche. If you're missing health and are in the umbral world and you see those orb things on the walls, you can actually siphon those things, including the exploding ones, and those will heal you back with their damage, allowing you to then attack and recover your health instead of wasting a heal. So look out for those orbs, that's basically free health. And lastly, for Soulflay, you will need Saintly Quintessence to upgrade your healing thing to get more heals via Pieta, but these are only obtainable in the Umbral world on those special loot bodies that you find. However, these are unique in that you will see a golden circle on the head of them, indicating these would give you Saintly Quintessence. So look out for those, as well as the dark purple blue color ones, as those will give you chisels, which are a lot more rare, which are used to upgrade your lamp. But when you do upgrade your healing junk via Pieta, you're kind of stuck in a long animation, right? Luckily, you can cancel out of this by simply attacking, and you'll still get the upgrade and skip her 10-second blood ritual. Platforming is scary with this game's momentum constantly propelling you forward, right? But did you know that you can stop the roll right after a jump completely? When jumping over an edge, simply let go of the thumbstick and you'll avoid the weird and overly long unnecessary roll afterwards, which is pretty nice. And you can also do this stationary as well by flicking your thumbstick forward and then pressing jump at the same time. Here's a random tip. Do not buy the Pilgrim's Key from Stolman early. You will get this key later for free, so unless you want to rush some of the hard areas early, save yourself 9k Virgo. Speaking of Virgo, for farming, check out my early Virgo farming video. Although the Reaper stuff is getting patched, the other methods shown should help you build up Virgo or even farm the large upgrade shards easily. Respec is in the game if you ever feel like you want to change your character, and you get around 4 to 6 respec items per playthrough. However, there is a way to get infinite amounts of that. In Skyrest Bridge, if you enter the Umbral, on the right side here is an NPC, Mohu. Here you can upgrade your lamp to get more Soulflay charges. You can socket various eyeballs into your lamp for various effects. You can also buy boss weapons and gear after sucking the remembrance for major story bosses, requiring scours to buy, which are gotten from memories or beating bosses or through co-op or even just beating the Red Reaper. And he also sells various Umbral spells and items, of course. But this is where you can buy Vestige Seeds as well as Moths, which allow you to teleport back to a spawn point without losing your vigor, unlike the default Darker Moth item that loses you all your vigor, so be careful there about using that one. But further down is a Shrine of Putrid Mother. This shrine is how you can buy scours and respec items. However, it costs plucked eyeballs. This currency is kind of a pain to get, but when in the world, you will occasionally see small red lamps on the floor. These are players that died to an enemy here recently, so if you soulflay them, a trail of butterflies will seek and mark the enemy that killed them and buff them. If you kill them, you will get plucked eyeballs, basically 3, the currency used for the shrine. Now at the shrine, you will notice there are 3 tiers with 2 currently locked. In order to unlock them, the whole entire community needs to donate plucked eyeballs. So almost a week after launch and everyone has not even been able to unlock tier 2. And who knows what the 3rd tier is. So I urge the community to do the lamp system anytime they see it, get those eyeballs and donate. But yeah, I don't think people even know about this system at all, or at least not actively hunting down red lamps. So hopefully this spreads more awareness. Of course, red lamps will tend to appear in more dangerous areas, but since everyone is farming for vigor and such, the Bell Room has a pretty consistent place to get eyeballs against the Iron Maiden guy. But 3 per kill is still fairly low, considering even if we do unlock tier 2, respec items are 75 eyeballs each. So yeah, hopefully they increase this amount. Moving on, NPC stuff in this game is super garbage. It's very vague and they disappear to random locations, and some cannot be progressed unless you actually summon them for boss fights. So if you do meet an NPC, I would suggest to look up a guide or look on the wiki to see if they have any weird requirements, since otherwise you may be missing out on loot or lore, or even like story ending progression stuff. One NPC that you can totally miss is the blacksmith, which is found in Pilgrim's Perch. To the left of the lift that you'll eventually be forced to come to proceed with the game, in a locked cage will be the blacksmith. Free her and you will then be able to upgrade your gear. Equally important is finding rune tablets. These will upgrade her stock and enable the feature of socketed runes into your weapons, which provide various bonus effects, with more slots unlocking as you upgrade your weapon. The location for the cracked runic tablet to start this is in Fitzroy's Gorge in this location here. There are 3 endings to the game, and each ending unlocks a new class. One involves lighting all the beacons, other involves lighting none of the beacons, 0, if you lit any of them you will lose this ending, and the third is a bit more nuanced. So for Platinum Chasers, you will have to beat the game 3 times to get the trophy. But be careful going to New Game Plus, as in that mode there are no hard checkpoints. That is, no vestige spawns other than the one single spawn you can generate with vestige seeds, making going back to older areas a complete chore. And you cannot go back to New Game if you do go to New Game Plus, you're locked to it. So don't ruin your save unless you want that hard challenge. Luckily, you do have the option to hold off going to New Game Plus after you beat the game, but yeah, New Game Plus, don't do it unless you really are looking for a challenge. If you need duplicated items, you do have co-op trading with a friend to get more copies of weapons you're missing, and if you're looking for multiple endings, just start a new save instead to be able to travel to stuff more easily than in New Game Plus. And well, you did unlock the new classes for a reason, right? Might as well start over. And lastly, the game has photo mode, aka pause. Since when you enter photo mode, it pauses the game, so if you ever need a break, open the menu and click left thumbstick and enjoy your chicken nuggies. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this game's Giga Tips video. If you found them useful, leave a like. Join the channel if you want to support it, since I never do sponsors in my videos. Helps me out. And comment down below any more tips you have to share. Check out my Skywalker build if you want an OP Radiance build. And for more lotf builds, subscribe for more blah blah epicness. Yeah.